Hey, what's up, everybody? Lawler here, talking to you guys about what the heck is going down in RLCS 2026. Obviously, we do a lot of focus here on North America and Europe, but and I'm going to put this statement out there, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree. And if you do, let me know in the comments. This is probably going to be the most competitive season of RLCS we've ever seen, and that makes sense as stuff progresses. But legitimately, I don't think there is a single region, due to the 2/3 rule being re-implemented and everything else. I don't think we've ever had such a competitive fight for major spots. OCE's limited down to 1. You've got APAC, you've got SSA, MENA's a battle. Like, all these teams are fighting, and it hasn't been super one-sided. So in today's video, we're going to do our best to kind of keep you guys up to date with major storylines. And while yes, it's very early, we still got 2 more regionals to go, and Boston is until like mid-February. I do think it's important to kind of keep a general note and a general eye on some of these teams as things develop, especially as we're doing power rankings with you guys as the community. You guys need to make your educated decisions, so I'm going to help with that. I'm going to help provide some examples. So we're going to go through, because NNE will be this weekend. We'll have predictions and stuff on Thursday, so no issues with that for the kickoff land. And Copenhagen will be doing watch parties here on the stream as well. But for South America, for OCE, for MENA, and everything else, we should talk about what the heck is going down, because it's pretty dang entertaining. That being said, as always, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications, you guys know what to do. We're going to start here in APAC, kind of talk about some new things, and some things that may actually surprise you guys, like Ground Zero Gaming, historically an OCE org, is actually over in APAC now. The major teams to pay attention to, number 1 is Project De La Cruz. How these guys aren't signed, I don't know if they're holding off for money or what, but this is the team. This is Sphinx, as you guys know, obviously used to play with Virtus Pro, was that guy. Continues to be, is still with Catalysm, no longer with Sosa because 2/3 rule, and now they have Kevin. This is Kevin from the local area, not Kevin from other places. So no surprise here, one of the favorites. The other team is with Cash, as you guys know, playing with Maxu and Furlash. Again, players that have played in the past. Furlash was more so known when he was playing with Realize way back, but Kinotrope and Project De La Cruz are kind of the 1-2 punch that everybody's been fighting. That being said, due to the way that the bracket is played out, they're actually in the same Swiss stage, in the same group, which has been very entertaining. For chance for them to, depending on how things lined up, playing a 2-0 series against each other. Did not happen this time around, but it might happen in the future. On the other side, you've got Ground Zero Gaming with Risk Valid and I. Obviously, we're seeing some imports happening even here. And then North Star Gaming is kind of your other one. All import kind of mentality. LCT, as you guys know, has been in the space for a long time. Gaming Gladiators with Marky Duda as coach is where you should know both him and Ballery's from. And then Lunar, who has done the World Tour and bounced around, is also with that roster. So, to my knowledge, North Star Gaming is not like a proper esports org. I think it's actually Lunar's buddy who is funding the project, which is pretty dope. Cool to see them get a chance and, travel and see the world and all that kind of crazy stuff. So, the ones that I have displayed are kind of your top 4. Those are the expectations. Those are the ones that are very likely to be going through in Swiss 3-0. No surprises there. In bracket play, though, you're not really having any complications for any of those teams. 3-0 for all of them. Ground Zero, obviously, a little bit closer. I would say they're probably the proper number 4. But De La Cruz, Kinotrope, and North Star are your ones that you should have expectations of making it towards the top. And that continues. The cool thing that we got to see, though, this past weekend is that De La Cruz and Kinotrope did get 2 results against each other. And De La Cruz won 4-2 both times. That being said, I think De La Cruz is the clear favorite in my personal opinion. I'm selfish. I think Sphinx could hang in any region. I think he's that good. But Kinotrope, I assume over time will make adjustments and changes and try to get better. I don't know if Cash and those guys are the appropriate solution. But that being said, I do think they are a good team. We will see more of this as well. Game 7 between the 2-3 team. Only reason that happened this way is because this team should have been here. Seeding should balance that out as we go. As teams start to get their results, these results will balance out, so they're playing on opposite ends of the bracket. They're not in the same side of groups. So it should be 1, 2, 3, and 4. But North Star losing here, big upset. Very big upset for Daybreak. Congrats to them. So that being said, teams to pay attention to for APAC, Project De La Cruz and Kinotrope would be the ones that I would assume. Keep those in mind. Jumping over to South America, more of the same. Fury obviously doesn't get the number 1 seed because their boot goals is really low. They had a pretty easy run through Swiss. Not their fault. But the three teams I would keep my eyes on in South America, Furia is obvious. Team Secret, they did a little bit of changing in swaps, as you guys remember, with Swift. And Trifino, if I'm remembering that correct. I could be wrong. I think it's Trifino and Swift swapped places. And then MIBR, Raise Bull upgraded the roster as well. The cool thing about this is we did get to see them play against each other early. You just never know. So MIBR and Team Secret. Team Secret was the clear team that was trending in a really good direction. Fury said, heck that. We're going to buy out your player. We're going to make ourselves better. And MIBR is going to have to adjust. So MIBR's with the changes, Raise Bull and those guys back to form, taking them down in Game 5. Pretty exciting stuff. We'll see them play again later in the tournament. But things go as expected. Team Secret having a tough fight against Furia again. Furia on top as expected. Another Game 5, so it is close. But all the top rosters do make it through. MIBR, Furia, and Secret do make it through. The head-to-head here. Eventually, I think Secret will end up probably here or here, so they will not run into each other in the future until we get into top 6 or semifinals. Top 6 goes as expected. Your top 2 in Furia and MIBR. Good for three-point shooters, though. They are able to take some games off of Furia. That is not something that we've seen in the past. Usually, Furia sweeps their way through and goes pretty dang strong. Team Secret on the lower bracket does get some results to process through, but MIBR proves that they are the better team. This series was really, really entertaining. It may not look like it. Looks like MIBR dominates, but I'm telling you, this is a very close series. And small moments from Team Secret that looked like they could have gotten a couple victories, but winning both OTs, 1-goal games even after the timeout, this is kind of the pivotal one. Even after the timeout buff and stuff to still close it out in a close series, even with the adjustments to hold on. Kudos to MIBR. Raise Bull is back. I would be so excited to see him back on land. Unfortunately, the Big Bad Fury up continues to be the same as always. Timeout buff does play a role here. Still not enough. So right now it's Fury and MIBR, but Team Secret, do not expect that to change. So again, if you guys aren't familiar with the rosters, just a quick note. MIBR, Sad, and Astro, you should know those names. Paquita's coaching. And then for Secret, again, there was the clean handshakes. They got rid of the coach and the player, and they swapped. So Bruno, who's been with Secret forever, is now with Furia. STL, who used to be with Furia, is now with Secret. And then Jerfinho and Swift swapped. Swift swap. Say that 10 times fast. All right. So that's where we're at for South America. Going over to OCE, we had upsets, and it was awesome. Over in OCE, the conversation was Hunter and Gus no longer. They're bringing in Fiber. What's going to happen with it? Fiber, as you guys know, actually used to play for Kansas City Pioneers back when they were a LAN team as well, and they played upset. So them, we've got Take Flight with the new roster with Amphis, the former TSM, and they've got an import with Fades. On the other side, you then have Wildcard, obviously sticking together. Usually we see in OCE, the top team tends to split up. Other people go with Taurus. Taurus finds a way to land. So a little bit of changes here. A lot of implications on the line as well. Keep in mind, OCE no longer has 2 spots. They only have 1. Only one team gets to go and represent at LAN. So their matches also a lot of pressure and a lot of scariness to them. Things started off rough for Wildcard. They lost their first series against Canterbury. I don't even know who that is. Oh, okay. I mean, that's a good team too, man. Caleb, Kaka, and Hunter is not a bad team. That's a very, very solid team. So, Wildcard losing that isn't as egregious as I thought. They bounce back and go 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. So they sweep the rest of the way after the first series. Good for them. On the other side, Power, the team that won it all, looking good. But in bracket play, Wildcard does get revenge. So good response from them there. Forever decided we don't want the smoke and forfeited. I don't know the story there. I don't think it's clarified anywhere either. So apologies for that. I actually don't know what happened. If anybody knows in the comments, let me know down below. Take Flight does concede. So there is some fights that are actually happening in this region. It is not free. And then Canterbury does bounce back. Makes for a very interesting quarterfinal. Wildcard back on top. Power back on top, which is what is expected. Canterbury with the guys do make it up against Power. Power shows that they're the better team. Take Flight does bounce back. So to me, this is your top 4. I think that your top 4 looks pretty dang solid. I do personally believe Power and Wildcard should be fighting. But this game 7 is everything you could ever want in a series. Back and forth fights, timeouts, OTs, making adjustments. Power to bounce out, though, is pretty exciting. Got to break the mold. Got to find a way to stop the back and forth, the pattern here. So really cool stuff in OC, as well as they both are fighting for one spot. I assume similar regards where, hey, Wildcard's maybe going to take the second one, and then it's going to come down to the final regional for a major spot for Boston. Pretty exciting stuff. A lot of fun. A lot of fun on that one. Highly recommend. Also, massive kudos to the OCE community. They did not have an official team stream, so CJ produced it. He brought in a bunch of people to help out, and they produced it on his channel. So we did get to see it. Shoutouts to Haza as well. Haza is the one who produced our FIFA E event. Yeah, pretty dope. Pretty dope to see them come together to provide a broadcast. Look pretty dang good. Last but certainly not least, we got MENA. The fight is between Falcons and Twisted Minds. Everybody knows that. Obviously, the big powerhouse signings. Falcons now has Drawley. Twisted Minds has Monkey Moon. We've also got TRK and Nobu playing together. Nubo playing together, however you say his name. I don't think people realize how good TRK and Nobu are going to look together. Nubo. We're going to go with Nubo. I'm going to stick to Nubo. If I'm wrong, let me know. But Nubo and Turk, I think Turk was just such a good vocal leader. He was such a huge proponent in their success in the way that he carried the team. And I'm not surprised by it. So they looked really good during the offseason. They've had Falcons' number. That continues. Swiss stage for both teams. Clean. No issues. On the other side, clean. Not too many issues. MMA, I do think, is a better team than Sleeping. Although Sleeping, we watched a clip from chat. MMA had a crazy flip reset. Reverse angle on the side, and then like purple shot side swiped it and just slammed that thing and had, I don't know how it got so much pace. It's crazy. But yeah, I think realistically your top 6 between Twisted Minds, Falcons, Sleeping, Rock, and MMA, that's your top 5. Top 6, I don't know who the 6th team would be, whether it be Awawa or whoever. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. That being said, this series, highly recommend watching. Game 7 against Twisted Minds is no slouch, no joke. There is moments that this team's have against even Falcons. Like, Falcons has their number. But for this to go as close as it did, a little spooky, a little scary. It's not free. You would think so with all the regions and how things are going. But, yeah. This one, I think is kind of telling. Having a Falcons team not scoring 3 times is kind of insane. They have so much firepower. I am surprised that you can hold them in a shutout. So, Monkey Moon looks like he's fitting in just fine. I feel like the boys are gelling, and they continue their dominance. Twisted Minds, currently the #1 team in MENA. All that money, and both teams fighting. It's going to be exciting. I think this region, if I'm MENA and EU, I'm a little happy they're not at kickoff land, dude. It'll be interesting to see how this develops. I think this is going to be a back and forth fight, and I think that applies to all these regions. I don't think anybody is assuming that one team is just going to win it out and go, hey, we're going to win every single, we're going to go perfect, we're going to go 3-0 in both splits, no big issue. Like, it's a fight, guys. I highly recommend, when you get the chance, browse the Liquipedia every once in a while, check in on the regionals. Obviously, we don't start back up until second week of January, but it's a battle. It is a battle in every single one of these regions, and what does that do? It just makes the main events, when they all come together, even more competitive. A lot to prove for these teams. It's going to be a long season, but it's going to be an exciting one. That being said, these videos would get long if I went into the full details, so there are some things obviously I missed. I'm not going into the full storylines. I'm not watching replays and stuff, but just keep in mind there's like a handful of teams that you should be paying attention to as we come in. Regional 3 is going to be very exciting, especially even with, like, if we talk NA, like NRG falling out short and having to bounce back, dude. It's going to be nuts. So, pretty exciting stuff. Quick recap. We've also got another video later today for you guys about some roster changes that are already happening. So, you want to make sure you don't miss out on those. Like, subscribe, notifications. Hit me up on the socials down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
accept that I reap